Another attempt on Donald Trump's life. So what does that have to do with pet-eating Haitian migrants? Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Before we begin, I have a goal to get to 600,000 subscribers by the end of this year. But YouTube has been secretly unsubscribing people, which is making it real hard. So if you're watching and you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, make sure you really still are. Former U.S. President Donald Trump just faced a second assassination attempt this year at his Florida golf club this week. This was just 2 months after Trump survived an attempt on his life by literally an inch in Butler, Pennsylvania. This wouldn't be the first time a U.S. president faced back-to-back assassination attempts. U.S. President Gerald Ford survived 2 attempts on his life in 3 weeks. The fact that we can recall more than one of these kinds of incidents kind of scares me. While Trump was playing golf, U.S. Secret Service agents noticed the muzzle of a rifle sticking through the shrubbery that lines the course roughly 300 to 500 yards away. An agent fired and the gunman dropped the rifle and fled in an SUV, leaving behind his firearm, 2 backpacks, a scope, and a GoPro camera. Because apparently people have to record everything these days, even incriminating assassination attempts. Content is king. Law enforcement eventually caught the gunman in a nearby neighborhood. Trump, meanwhile, was safely escorted away without any injuries, though I imagine he was pretty upset, mostly about this interrupting his golf game. Couldn't the assassin have tried this during something less fun, like the debate? The suspect was identified as Ryan Routh. He's actually had a bit of publicity before the assassination attempt. Routh was featured on Newsweek Romania, Semaphore, and the New York Times while he was seeking recruits to fight in Ukraine. You can tell from his public appearances and now deleted social media posts that he's a very vocal Ukraine supporter and not very great at face paint. But let's just say that Routh is anything but typical. Records show that he ran into trouble with the law on multiple occasions since the 90s. He's been charged for hit and run, carrying a concealed weapon, resisting an officer, driving with a revoked license, and even carrying a weapon of mass destruction, which a local paper reported was a fully automatic machine gun. Court records show more than 100 criminal counts have been filed against Ryan Routh in North Carolina, mostly in Guilford County. Wow, I can't believe an upstanding straight shooter like that would become an attempted straight shooter. According to his now deleted social media, Routh said Trump was his choice in 2016, but felt disappointed with him. Routh has since donated to Democrats and expressed support for them. Strangely enough, in a May 2020 post, Routh invited Kim Jong-un, the North Korean leader, to Hawaii for a vacation and offered to act as an ambassador and liaison to resolve disputes between the two nations. First of all, random citizens can just do that? And second, how exactly did he imagine things would play out? Kim would see the invitation and go, this guy with the amateur-looking face paint clearly has all the answers. But perhaps the biggest red flag about Routh, not painted on his cheek, came in the form of a manifesto published in 2023. In it, he criticized Trump for tearing apart Obama's Iran deal and expressed regret for initially supporting him. He also endorsed the idea of having both Trump and himself assassinated for that. Man, how come you never see any positive manifestos? But unlike the first Trump assassination attempt, both assassin and Trump lived to tell the tale. A lot of questions are being raised, like how Routh was able to get so close to Trump. Although the Secret Service was able to react on time, it once again faces scrutiny for letting such a threat get so close. Is the Secret Service also in charge of the southern border by chance? Because neither know how to secure a perimeter. As of this recording, the FBI is still investigating the assassination attempt. Given that this took place in Florida, the state of Florida is also conducting its own investigation. Mainly because this is unusual, as most assassination attempts in Florida involve throwing alligators through drive-through windows. And no, I'm not joking. But you know who you should really blame for this? Trump! Although many mainstream media outlets called out the assassination attempt as an assassination attempt, some, like the Washington Post and NBC News, called it an incident in their headlines, which would be like calling September 11th a hullabaloo. What's next? Will they say something like Trump falls off his golf cart after hearing loud noises? Sadly, that's not much of a stretch considering how the first assassination attempt was covered. Media outlets were also quick to link the second assassination attempt to Trump's comment on pet-eating Haitians in Springfield, Ohio. Here's NBC's Lester Holt doing just that.
Today's apparent assassination attempt comes amid increasingly fierce rhetoric on the campaign trail itself. Mr. Trump, his running mate J.D. Vance continue to make baseless claims about Haitian immigrants in Ohio.
Is he blaming Trump for his own assassination attempt? Do they realize if Trump got an assassination attempt for every incendiary thing he said, he'd have to campaign 24/7 in Iron Man armor? ABC News, the channel that hosted what was essentially a 3v1 presidential debate last week, likewise turned the assassination attempt into a story of Trump and J.D. Vance on Haitian immigrants.
If the Secret Service had not spotted the muzzle of that gun sticking through the fence, that he would have had potentially an unfettered shot of less than 100 yards away, and that this very well could have been a successful assassination.
Wow. All right, Jonathan Karl, our thanks to you. Now to the race for the White House. Ohio's Republican governor is calling for an end to debunk claims that Haitian immigrants in the town of Springfield are eating pets belonging to residents.
PBS News did the same.
And that Secret Service acted quickly to protect Trump. The agency is investigating. A university in Springfield, Ohio today canceled all planned activities and events after it received an email threatening a potential shooting. A Wittenberg University statement said the threat especially targeted Haitian members of the community. Springfield has come under a microscope after the Trump campaign's claims without evidence of Haitian immigrants eating local pets.
The Atlantic editor David Frum likewise linked the assassination attempt to Trump's comments on Haitian migrants by claiming Trump and his running mate J.D. Vance incited threats in Ohio. Seeing different news outlets using the same formula totally doesn't give NPC vibes, right? It's probably just a coordination. I mean, coincidence. Yep, coordinated coincidence. Meanwhile, 60 Minutes is in hot water after it aired a 13-minute segment about the January 6th riot, another point of criticism used against Trump just hours after the assassination attempt. I feel like we're one more assassination attempt away from the media saying, you know, maybe people wouldn't shoot at him so much if he didn't dress that way. Both the left and right are using the assassination attempt to attack each other even more. Many on the right are quick to blame Democrats for the rhetoric villainizing him and accuse them of inciting violence against Trump. Meanwhile, many on the left are doubling down and saying it's Trump who incites violence through his rhetoric. Maybe it isn't a good sign that whenever there's any political violence, both sides act like it's a Wild West quick draw competition to see who can point their fingers the fastest. But maybe there's a silver lining to all this. Trump thanked law enforcement without pushing a campaign agenda, at least for a day, which, to be fair, is a new record for him. Progress. And both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have put out statements condemning the assassination attempt on Trump. So perhaps people may cool it with the blame game? Yeah, maybe not. But stay tuned to America Uncovered as we continue to cover the insanity of the 2024 election that still has a month and a half more to go. Oh, joy. Maybe Trump should start wearing that Iron Man armor until then. If you like America Uncovered's nonpartisan take on news and politics, be sure to subscribe, smash that like button, and share this video with your friends. And here's another video I want you to see. Since I made it, I stand by the quality of it, rather than whatever YouTube's algorithm will randomly show you next. Just click here. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.